So India is the second of the BRICS in a sense, or the second most powerful among the BRICS. We haven't seen India yet reach its potential. I think we've begun to see China. I know we've begun to see China reach its potential. India will take longer for all kinds of reasons. It still has, enormous poverty, terrible problems to deal with that it would have to overcome in order to be able to really assert itself internationally. But were India to become the third great power, and that would mean that Russia, of course, would have to decline, which I do think in this century we will see Russia decline. And one of the reasons why I think Russia is probably going to hew close to China. But let's say there are three great powers. Those are very different dynamics than a bipolar world. And I think I said, if I didn't say it here, I said it this morning, bipolarity is not friendly to multilateralism. When there's bipolarity, each country looks at each other as its major problem. But when you have three great powers, the incentive is not to be left out. So none of those countries wants to be in a position where the other two gang up on it. So what you would probably see if it were a world of India, China, and the United States as the great powers, you'd probably see more shifting of alliances than interests. And in that case, there'd be more of an opportunity, I think, for other states to pursue their own interests apart from great power rivalry. So were that to happen, I think we would see the world evolve in many different ways. We would see stronger international global governance institutions. So I think that's a really interesting and important question to ask. Because the United States is now encouraging India to have a stronger military, to develop more. It's working on its economy. So we shouldn't be surprised if India does, in fact, grow more rapidly. Okay, now go to Woodrow Wilson and the League of Nations, which is one of my favorite subjects, as Earth knows. And when I was talking about 1933 and the rise of Japan and the militarization of Japan, it was the League of Nations that couldn't deal with that issue. The League tried and it was not able to negotiate between Japan and China. And I think one of the reasons it couldn't was the United States was not interested in being a part of the League, and it certainly didn't support this Lytton Commission. So the United States was indeed isolationist. I think we learned our lesson. I hope we learned our lesson, learned it too well. But my hunch is that in the evolving world, it's going to be a bipolar world. You're going to see the United States be very much engaged. But, can I predict? I can't predict. I can only look at trends and read more than, to have read more than you've probably read and to thought more about it. But it doesn't mean I'm always right. It is so difficult to predict in international relations. One of the prime ministers of the United Kingdom was asked, "What's the most difficult thing about your job?" A little boy asked him. And he said, "Events, young man, events." And you cannot predict events, and events can really change things. So all of my predictions could be wrong, and that's why it's always better to have a conversation about this than for me to lecture you and tell you what the world's going to be like. So now let me think, and that goes back to the question of, can Indonesia be one of the most powerful countries in the world? I think we have to say highly unlikely. It is really, its potential is as a middle power. And that's just because of its location and its size, and the fact that there are so many larger countries with more resources than it has. But certainly the position of Indonesia today